G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve this 4-color Mastermorphix. This is a Shengshao version. There's a bunch of other versions available, but this is the one I've got, and this is a 3x3 shape mod, but as you probably know, not all shape mods are equal. This is one of the more interesting ones, and what I'm going to do first of all is consider what are the centers, and to do that we just turn things and see what rotates in place, and you can see that kind of piece there rotates in place. So these 2-color pieces are our centers. So what I'm going to do first is just pick any old center and match up the color. So that yellow green, I'm going to find the other two that have green on them, which are these two. I'm going to turn them around like that, turn this one around until all those greens are pointing the same direction. Then I'm going to go up here and say, well, that's blue, so let's see if we can get that blue to face this one as well. Those blues are all facing each other, yellow, 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 red, red, red. You can see all of those 2-color pieces are now, the colors on them are actually facing the same direction. So that having been done, I'm going to choose one of them arbitrarily. I'm going to say, alright, I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to solve the white cross, as it were, around that. I'm going to do it using 4 moves, the edge piece series, not just turning them into place, so that I keep the orientation of the other ones. So, for example, I can see that there's a blue over here that's got to go into that position. Now, there's a little bit pain in the neck because I can't quite tell. In fact, I can quite tell. That's the shorter edge, and if I turn it around to there, the shorter edge will be there. So I'm going to leave that at the moment and go and find this blue here, which is much easier to work with. And to turn that up, I want to use 4 turns, so I'll turn it up into position, then involve the third piece, and then undo those moves. And what you can see is that that edge has gone into position and the centers are all still correctly oriented. So that's one of my top edges. What about this one? Here's the other blue one. And this time we've got the blue here, and the longer edge has to be on this side, so again that can turn into its position, involve that third piece, and then undo. Centers are oriented, second edge is in. Now we've got a red, and we can see there's a red here. Now this time the longer edge needs to be on this side, so I don't want to knock that blue one out. So I'm going to say, which side did I say? The longer edge needs to be on this side here. In other words, I want to turn it up like that. So I'm going to turn it up, involve this green piece, undo, and then of course turn it one more turn to keep things back where they were. And this is the other red that I need. Now in this case you can see the shorter edges on this side, so if I was to turn it up around there, the shorter edge will be on the other side. So I just want to turn this off and bring it up through this pathway here. So turn its position down, put it on, and undo. Now what you can see is if we look from the top here, we've got 4 edges placed around that center, and if we look around the middle we can see the other centers are still oriented. Now what I want to do is place 3 of these middle layer edges. So for example, this has got to be blue. Let's grab a blue, turn it around, and say the short edge has got to be on the bottom. So there's the short edge, so I'm just going to turn that down into position and then involve another one. Okay, that's one of them done. Here's a green. You'll notice I haven't bothered orienting this thing yet. I will in a minute. And the short edge has got to be at the top, so again I can turn this one down, down, up, up to place that one. What we've got over here, a red. This time the short edge is over here. It needs to be at the bottom, so I've got to turn its position up, then put it on, and then undo. Now that leaves us with just this fourth middle layer edge to do. I'm going to use this to help me do the top layer edges. And because that's my middle layer edge, the two that I'm going to be interested in first are these two at the back. So what I want to do is orient my center now. Now it's important to get my center oriented so you can see the green matches up with these two greens down here. Now having done that, I've already got one of those placed, which is fantastic. I want to go and place the other green, and it's down here, and the shorter edge is at the back. So I'm going to turn that around, and to get the shorter edge at the back, I'm going to turn this, then turn it onto that position, undo those moves, and then turn it back. And you can see that the center is correct, those two edges are in. And that now leaves us with well, a couple of situations. In this case we could have a 3 cycle. In this case we've actually got two, the last two edges here are in position but they're flipped, each of them. So how we deal with that is to just involve those two edges and another one, take them out of position, and having done that, we'll just go ahead and see, well, what have we got? Again, these three edges here, one is going to go into position not correctly, I should say. The other two will go incorrectly, will go correctly. Got to stop using that word in. Now, what I mean by that is, if I turn, let's have a look. If I turn this one, if I turn it across to there, that will not be correctly oriented. If I turn this one across to there, that will not. So let's go the other way. What if I turn this one across to here? Yep, that will correctly orient. What about this one down to here? No. What about this one up to here? Yes. So you can see this one and this one will correctly orient when they turn in. This one will not. And that tells me that the position that this one is going to needs to be turned first, and then I'll turn it onto its position, undo those moves. And when that's done, you'll see that all of the edges are in and the puzzle is actually taking its shape. Now I want to show you one situation which can occur with this puzzle. Alright, let's imagine that we've got to this position and this is our middle layer position, and we've got just this edge here. So these other three on the top are done. We've got one on the top that's not, and so we've actually got a swap of two edges. Now on a normal cube, what we would do is turn the upper face one turn and go and resolve those edges. The problem is that that changes the orientation of the center. So we have to have a different technique, and what we'll do is just realize that even though it looks like a swap, what it actually is a 3 cycle of these edges. So there's a green edge, a yellow edge, and let's call another green edge over here. So what needs to happen is this green has to go here, this yellow has to go here, this green has to go up to here. So first of all, let's turn those into that position, get them placed in the correct position, and then we'll see what's going on in terms of orientation. And we can see that the yellow has correctly oriented, these two greens have not. So if that's the case, we can once again just do the orientation. We can actually look and see if we can use this green to do it first of all. But I don't think we can. So let's take them out of position. And let's now have a look and see. Two of these will orient correctly when they turn in. So which way do we need to go? That one, that's correct. This one here, so if it turns in this way, that'll be correct. So this one will be not correct when we turn it up. So that tells us that this one's position, which is here, has to be turned first. We turn it up into its position. Okay, so that covers all of the cases of the edges, what could happen with them. We turn our attention now to the corners, and the corners come in two flavors. One of them is these 3 color corners, and the other is this small triangle. Both of those are corners, they function as corners. Now what I'm going to do is use the corner piece series, and I'm going to place these 3 color pieces first. And there's a very good reason for that. So what I'm looking for is to find one of these that will roll along an edge and position itself correctly. So that is a good example. That will go down there. You can see the yellow matches, the blue will match, and the green will match here. So once I've found that, I set it up, involve 2 other pieces. So I've got 3 pieces for my corner piece series, and then carry it out. And if the pieces are going this direction, then it is a clockwise turn of the upper face to begin with. Okay, you can see that has placed and oriented correctly. Let's find another one. Yellow, red, green. That's got to go over here. It's miles away. Let's find this yellow, red, blue and see if we can turn that somewhere nearby. We can. So that's our little setup move. And now we'll see that this can roll down into there. So that's what we'll do next. The same deal. And then the setup move is very easy to undo. You can clearly see that. And that just leaves us this last one, the yellow, red, green. So again, I'm going to turn that up using a setup to see if I can get it correctly rolling. That's not going to work, so let's try it going up a different direction. And that's much better. And we can see that this one will roll along the back edge here, like that, into its position. So I've got that, that and that. So the clockwise piece movement means that the first turn of the upper face will be anti-clockwise. Okay, that's been carried out. We can clearly see the setups. What you'll notice is that the 4 3-colour corners are in, and that will leave us with one of a couple of situations. One of them is this, and in fact, if you do these corners first, it will actually only leave you, well, I said a couple. One of them was they'll be solved. The other is we've got a 3-cycle here. There is one other case if you decide not to do these corners first, and I'll show you that in a minute. But for now, we're going to go and solve these ones. The reason I left them till last is I don't need to think about orientation, which is nice. So I just need to get them next to each other so I can cycle them. So the green, red, yellow, that's the direction I want to go. So we'll cycle them home. Okay, that being done, we'll then go and undo these setup moves. I think I can remember them. There's one, there's the other. And you can see it all as well. But I did say there's another potential situation you can get. Let me show you that now. And here it is. What we've got is everything solved on this puzzle except one corner, which is twisted. Now, if you do it in the order I suggested, getting these ones done first, you won't have this because the only things that will be left will be these small triangles. However, if you do it in whatever order you want, you could get this. So a single twisted corner. The other thing you could get is 2 corners which need to twist in the same direction. Now that is identical, functionally identical to this situation, and it won't happen on a normal cube, but it can happen on this. So what's actually happened is that this has to twist anti-clockwise, and there'll be one of these little corners here, doesn't matter which one, that needs to twist clockwise. So if that's the case, what you need to do is just keep your bearings about you and say, right, that's the top center. This is my front face. This is my left face here. I need to place the one that needs to twist anti-clockwise at the up front left position, the one that needs to twist clockwise at the up back left position here. So if this needed to twist clockwise, then I would have it something like that. So it would twist around in that direction. So once we've got that done, what you need to carry out is 2 edge piece series. So down, down, up, up. Want to do that twice. is much trickier keeping your bearings than on a normal cube. Okay, there's two of them, and you can actually see that's twisted in place. Now I want to turn that left face and undo those edge piece series. So instead of turning the front face first, I'm going to turn the right face first. And then return this left face. It has actually twisted that yellow piece, but of course we can't see it. And you can see that that has also twisted this one the way we wanted it. So that covers all cases of the corners, and as you can see, the Mastermorphix is solved.